Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here. Happy Valentine's Day. And in today's GTA 5 video, what we're going to be taking a look at is the top 5 most heartbreaking moments in Grand Theft Auto 5. So this doesn't have to necessarily be a death. In fact, no major characters actually die in this list that I'm talking about today. This is just going to be a compilation of the saddest moments in the game in honor of Valentine's Day. So as always, if you feel like I missed a really sad or heartbreaking moment, let us know in the comment section down below. With out of the way, let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. All right, at the number 1 spot today, Trevors Mom, and the scenario and story surrounding that. So if you don't know, Trevor's mom actually appears in a secret mission called Mrs. Phillips. It actually comes after the mission, The Times Come, or The Third Way, essentially wherever you have Trevor living. What will happen is Trevor will get a mission that appears on his trailer. He will storm in his front door to find his mother waiting inside. Keep in mind, he hasn't seen his mother in tons of years. And they begin to have a very emotional conversation. Trevor starts breaking down and crying. His mom starts saying, how disappointed he is in them. And it's really just one of the most raw emotion parts. You've never seen Trevor like that, which is really crazy. And after the emotional conversation, she says that she needs some dilutamol, in which Trevor picks himself up off the floor and he has to go steal a truckload of dilutamol. And once he brings back the dilutamol to the trailer, the cutscene shows that Trevor's mother has disappeared, to which Trevor becomes very upset. He starts laying on the floor in the fetal position and actually starts crying. Now, we don't know if Trevor's mother was actually real here, or if Trevor was hallucinating the whole time due to her sudden appearance. So this is a very, very sad moment, and it's also pretty interesting what happens after the mission as well. If you switch very quickly from Trevor to someone else and then back to Trevor, he'll actually be smoking meth and crying about his mother. So it's a very interesting mission, and one that you just get to see Trevor Phillips in a state that is the total opposite of how we've seen him really the entire game. So this is pretty cool because it's a secret mission as well. The only way to get it is by unlocking the game by doing the mission The Times Come or The Third Way. So obviously if you kill Trevor, it's kind of spoiler alert, you won't actually be able to do this mission. But it's one of the craziest strangers and freaks of all time. And it's just such a raw, emotional mission that's really great in my opinion. The number 2 spot today, Michael's family leaves him. So this actually occurs in the mission, Did Somebody Say Yoga? So this is one of the most frustrating missions in the series. It's also one of the weirdest. It starts with you doing yoga. In the middle, you get drugged by your son. You're abducted by aliens. However, the sad part of this mission comes after Michael is done with all of that. He had just attacked the yoga instructor for kind of doing some weird pose on his wife, Amanda. His son drugged him. He got abducted by aliens, and he had to scamper back to his house in nothing but his underwear. And when he finally wakes up and he rushes back to his house, in the kitchen, he discovers a note from Amanda explaining that she and the children have left for a while since they can't stand Michael's crazy antics. Now, that is really, really sad because she's going to live with Fabian, Michael's daughter Tracy, and his son Jimmy. They don't really seem to like him at all. And it's probably the lowest part of Michael's life as far as what we've seen in the GTA 5 campaign. And really the icing on the cake is once the mission ends, Michael gets a text from Jimmy stating that he's taken the car and some money, which is $5,000, from his bank account and found a place of his own. So Jimmy literally takes his car and takes $5,000 from him as well, which I definitely think is really funny. Now, after the mission as well, Michael can call Tracy, and if he does so, Tracy will express concern for Michael's welfare and tells him that he needs to seek help before he ends up killing himself. Even Tracy thinks that Michael actually is going to kill himself, which is just so sad to hear that from your own daughter. Now, what's pretty crazy is the aftermath of this as well. A Life Invader post from Jimmy DeSanta is, "You'll thank me for anestheticizing," hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, "you one day. I promise, I hope it gave you some perspective into how unbelievably effed up our lives are. We all need some distance." Wow, that's pretty sad. And then some Bleeder post, which is basically just GTA 5's version of Twitter. This one was just saw a middle-aged guy vomiting in his underwear outside in plain sight of viewers passing by, only in Rockford Hills. Fabian says, another insecure old man with no strength in his core, balance in his chakras. Don't blame me if your wife is not satisfied. And then Tracy says, anyone got a couch I can crash on? My a-hole dad just became too much. Erg. So they're literally tweeting about him and how sad he has become, which just builds onto the fact that this is definitely one of the saddest moments in the game. At the number 4 spot today is a really touching memorial for a Rockstar employee. So this is actually located in the Vinewood Cemetery as well. It's kind of on that walking path that elevates you a little bit higher. And on the bench, there's actually a kind of plaque that says, in memory of Chris Edwards. Now, if you're not sure who that is, Chris Edwards was a Rockstar employee who is credited on titles such as Max Payne, Grand Theft Auto, and LA Noire. And the thing is, Chris Edwards actually passed away in 2014, and this placard on this bench seems to be a memorial for him, which is really awesome. So what's cool is Chris actually went on to create artwork for Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto 5, so some of his work is still living on in GTA 5 to this day. And this is a very heartwarming story, and even though it's kind of heartbreaking because Chris is no longer with us, it is really cool that he has been memorialized and honored in GTA 5. Okay, and at the number 5 spot today, this isn't one particular moment, but it's all the messages and phone calls you receive if you choose one of the endings that has you killing either Michael or Trevor. So it's pretty clear that option C is the good ending where everyone lives, so there's nothing really sad about that. But if you end up killing either Michael or Trevor, you'll actually get a series of text messages and phone calls from the other major characters in the game. So for example, if you end up killing Michael, you'll get really sad phone calls and messages from Amanda, Jimmy, Tracy. You're going to get a lot of calls like that. You'll also get calls dedicated to you, Franklin. Like, for example, Tanisha will call Franklin saying that she's actually getting married. And we know that there's sort of a little bit of a love connection between Tanisha and Franklin, which is obviously very disappointing to him. If you end up killing Trevor, you're going to get threatening messages from Ron. You're also going to get concerning messages from Jimmy and Tracy. So it's really sad to see sort of the aftermath in what happens after these missions. So the deaths themselves are pretty sad in my opinion, but I've covered them in other videos, so I didn't think it was really necessary to go back in detail in this one. But the aftermath is what makes it so heartbreaking, is you really get to see the depth and the magnitude of your actions in choosing one of those endings over another. I think if I could choose one to be the saddest, it would definitely be Michael, just because of his life really seemed to have been turned around. Like, he finally got his, family really back together. Tracy was going to college. Jimmy seemed to be doing productive things. And the fact that he just got ended right there was, in my opinion, very, very sad. But anyways, that right there is the top 5 most heartbreaking moments in Grand Theft Auto 5. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. Are there any other heartbreaking or sad moments that I missed that you thought I should have included in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.